the best three functional food, okay, the human can actually consume and reverse its unfavorable health condition. And one of it is AFC. Okay, the other one is already closed. Okay, these and then the disclaimer: these statements made in this slides have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. These statements and the products of this company are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Okay, the previous SOP Subarashi that we have the triple peptide. We have the marine placenta, the salmon ovary peptide, which is a standalone, the supplier. It's a group of supplier and a biotech manufacturer that they already have their own clinical studies. We have Sardine Peptide. We have Fruitflow, which is a vegetable-based peptide. We have the sweetener, which is stevia. We will see this at the back of the label or the box, in which this is the one indicated, unless otherwise. Yeah, there have been some additional. We have pearl barley, yogurt powder. We have vitamin C and glutathione. Okay, these are the triple peptides. However, SOP Subarashi has added some. We have the Hexa peptide. We have the tuna heart peptide. I saw some fishermen who's actually getting the tuna heart and eating it raw. There's a reason why. We have the salmon caviar peptide, and we have the salmon Anserine or Anserine peptide. These are the additional peptides. Ingredients inside SOP Subarashi, these are in a nutshell. Okay, what do you mean by that? For example, the placenta, the salmon ovary, the peptide. We are talking about peptide. What are peptide? These are combinations of amino acids. We have 20 amino acid, and additional 2 is participating in the production of the genome, the most basic information, the 9 essentials and the others. Okay, the 11 essential amino acids. Okay, in the future, I'm gonna discuss that, why the peptide is very important, because peptide in a combination of amino acids, a combination of these molecules, can initiate an action in the body. Okay, and I was amazed when I saw the tuna heart peptide, and there are more than 14 peptides within that peptides. Okay, and within that material. First of all, the marine placenta, the salmon ovary peptide. Okay, as you can see here, this product are extracted and purified from salmon ovary. Okay, we will see this. You will see this, that there is an encasing here, and that is the actual ovary. Okay, and some of the covering or the membrane of that ovary, and even the salmon raw, its casing or its membrane is also indicated or used by the company, okay, the supplier for this, giving it to AFC. And they have actually, have clinical studies like cell activation, okay, using the skin and or the dermal fibroblasts, which is in the skin elasticity, and the type 1 collagen production. Okay, collagen is very important because everywhere, the eyes, the bones, the matrix structure of our body is collagen. This is the best source of collagen. And they have also human testing for 2 weeks, and regarding to closure of the pores or shrinking of the pores of the skin, wrinkles, okay, and the stains. They call it stains, but it is actually aging spots. Okay, they have the ability. Okay, this one, the marine placenta, has the ability to enhance the skin in terms of its function. Another thing, the sardine peptide, okay, the sardine peptide, this is not medicine, but is actually causing the anti-hypertensive effect, okay. For the doctors, this is the ACE inhibitor, or inhibiting activity, okay, or ACE1 activity, or which is actually, it's not medicine, but it's actually part of the benefits of taking a sardine peptide, okay, and even helping our glucose, okay, glucose tolerance and glucose metabolism, okay, and it also helps the same thing with Fruitflow. They have the ACE enzyme inhibitor, which is also an anti-hypertensive effect, okay, and anti-inflammatory as well, which is, when you say anti-inflammatory, okay, the inflammation there, and even the actual pain is actually attenuated. It's actually reduced. It also helps the heart. in terms of this peptides that we have. Inside of this marine placenta, the Sardine Peptide and the Fruitflow, we have the blueprint of the nucleic acid, the basic. Okay, are you aware that one cell, okay, is actually equivalent to 0.4 billion pieces of nucleic acid? It's the blueprint of life, and this is actual raw material that we use for repairing at the DNA level. And then if it is a nucleic acid that is combined, okay, it will combine, okay, three of it will combine, it will form the amino acid, the basic building blocks of the body. And the material, the peptides, okay, and the peptides, it's a, if it is a conglomeration of peptides, we will create a protein. By the way, I just want you to know that there is a Nobel Prize Award 2 years ago, and this Nobel Prize Award is actually the folding of proteins. For the doctors, you will understand this. The folding of proteins is actually creating peptides. And when you create peptides, there is a specific action. And that specific action can target whatever anomaly, whatever health condition, unfavorable health condition that is in the body. So the Nobel Prize Award winner used AI technology in folding of the proteins. So in short, they have already answered, okay, some curative effect, okay, using proteins as the medium to target ailing parts of the body. However, the problem here is it's still on its development stage, but they have actually, they have already success. However, if we're going to use the ancient techniques, okay, if you saw the video of the SOP Subarashi before, that the fisherman is actually using the salmon ovary, okay, or the raw, and using it as part of medicine. And they have actually, because of trial and error, they have already found out that this is actually a life-giving food, which is in the oceans of Japan. Okay, so these are ancient food, and even science has not yet been, cannot decipher it yet of the action of these peptides that's in it. That's why we only extract that peptide. Okay, so another thing here, aside from the nucleic acid, we have the elastin, okay, and function is to nourish the skin elasticity, and prevent from sagging, is especially with collagen. And the highest form of collagen is in the AFC SOP Subarashi. They have actually, have the actual trigger to produce collagen in the body. We have also hyaluronic acid, which is the cushioning of the joints, and chondroitin, which is actually blocking enzyme that breaks the cartilage, especially for those who have rheumatoid arthritis. Now, these are the pearl barley yogurt, vitamin C. These are added, nutrition, okay? And even the yogurt powder is actually binding it. And, vitamin C is added to preserve the glutathione, to preserve the other antioxidant inside, and to preserve the peptides inside, okay? And all of this is actually in the SOP Subarashi, the new version, the Hexa peptide. The tuna heart peptide is actually number one, and the source of it's the heart cardiac arterial bulbs of a tuna. And actually, aside from the tuna peptide, there are enormous amount of peptide. There are peptide. In the future, we're going to discuss this, the PKK, the YEGGT, so forth and so on, all of this alphabet inside. Okay, they are amino acid in combination. Okay, so these are actually highly absorbed by the body. And actually, one of the function here is to reduce the formation of the peroxides. Hydrogen peroxide, the one we use for cleaning, for laundry. Okay, these are actually produced by the body, okay, in excess. This peroxide is actually beneficial for killing the viruses and bacteria. However, because of the lifestyle that we have, the environment that we are in, the peroxide increases, so the stress increases. Stress increases, so the peroxide, not only the peroxide, but also the hypochlorite. When you say hypochlorite, these are also cleaning agents, okay? Chemical use for bleach. And the body is also producing that in terms of induced stress. Another thing is the anti-inflammatory here, and also to regulate the gut. As you can see in the picture, these are also helping the cardiovascular system. This peptide targets the strengthening of the heart. Okay, and another thing is the uric acid management. And these are a person with a high uric acid management, and this is also part of their patents. Okay, the discovery of their patents in the tuna heart peptide. And another thing is used for skincare. Okay, tuna heart peptide sometimes is used in cosmetics, and because of its anti-aging and protective properties, and also its power to reverse. They call it anti-aging, but I call it reverse aging. Based on the experience of AFC, people using it really reverses their aging process. I mean, okay, uric acid management, and then the skin as well as the skin. Another thing, the salmon caviar is also an anti-inflammatory. Together, they are actually what you call the synergistic in action, strengthening each other's ingredients. And the salmon caviar peptide increases the hydration, especially for the wrinkled area of the skin, especially in the face, okay, on continents. Okay, and these are actually part of the what you call this, part of the upgrade of the SOP Subarashi. Another thing, pain management. Okay, for those people who are not able to, climb upstairs, okay, or inclined areas, or hiking or something like, or running. Okay, those impacts on the joints and the heels and the balls of the feet, you can feel the pain because the cushioning is already out, or there is a excess formation of uric acid. Are you aware that uric acid is formed if there is a lot of carbohydrate sweets that you're eating? Salmon Anserine Peptide. Okay, this is located in the muscles, okay, of salmon. Why? It is an anti-fatigue properties. Imagine salmon swimming against the flow. They're not fatigued. Why? Because of this salmon Anserine Peptide. Okay, and this is actually part of the ingredients that we have here. Anti-fatigue, and recovery from exercise endurance, and recovery from athletes exhaustion and muscle pains. Okay, anti-fatigue. Another thing is the cognitive and brain health. Okay, and because of this, it's actually increasing the cerebral blood flow, and also the preserve verbal episodic memory in elderlies. Okay, and if they're speaking, I have an 84-year-old mother, and sometimes her word is all fillers. You cannot understand it. That's why you need to listen carefully. That's why people who are in 60 years old, 50, 70 years old and above should always take this kind of functional food. Another thing, antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. This one can also help regulate blood glucose, improve kidney functions, and reduce what you call this, the hyperlipidemia, or accumulation of clogs in the artery. Why? Because of its omega-3, okay, and it's actually dissolving this kind of clogs in our arteries. Okay, so the triple peptide is now the Hexa peptide with the tuna heart peptide, salmon caviar peptide, and Anserine peptide. Okay, so the possible benefits for this one, for the heart, protection of the heart, normalized blood pressure because it has an anti-hypertensive properties, and the blood vessel, the pancreas, helps improve glucose tolerance and insulin sensitivity. Kidneys, prevent kidney injury damage, improve the filtration system of the kidney. The cells, the cell membrane cohesion. Are you aware that our SOP Subarashi, the Otsikoshi, and has a measurement, a molecule measurement between 400 to 800 Daltons, which penetrates the cell, diffuses into the cell, and feeds all the chromosomes, feeds the mitochondria, feeds all the organelles inside the cells that make it rejuvenated, and makes it what do you call this? Producing healthy cells or producing daughter cells. Okay, another thing, it is also a stem cell therapy. What do I mean by that? Okay, oral therapy, when you say stem cell therapy, I don't believe that, but in this case, the stem cell therapy here comes from the producing and replenishing the bone marrow stem cell to assist in DNA repair and cell repair. It is actually, when you're gonna take this kind of product, especially all of this peptide, it will initiate the bone marrow stem cell production. And that stem cell production will feed all the stem cell and will produce the necessary cells needed by the body, like the blood cell is only 120 days, platelets 7 days. We have neutrophils, the white blood cell that kills viruses and bacteria. That's only gonna live for 7 days, and you need that. And this is the stem cell therapy that we need. Aside from, going to the doctors and getting the fats from your belly or your omentum, and they're gonna actually process that, and they're gonna re-inject it to you. That's a different stem cell therapy. For the brain, the skin, the bones, the muscles. When you're taking this kind of product, it's actually the peptides and the proteins and the polypeptides and oligopeptides. They are there to protect us from sarcopenia. What is sarcopenia? Helps prevent muscle deterioration during old age. Are you aware that our body is actually, the muscle is atrophied or depleted, okay, or shrinks 10% of it every year? That's why when you see the the previous bodybuilder, when you see them in their prime, high musculature body, but when they age, they turn 18, 70, you will see it's all drooped down, and everything is actually they seems to look normal in terms as a senior citizen. Another thing here is the joints, and because it has the material, okay, the hyaluronic acid, the elastin, the collagen, the chondroitin, all of this, there is a potential. In mainstream medicine, there is no cure for this. But in the eyes of a naturopath, okay, this may actually help the formation of new cartilages. DNA repair. What do you mean DNA repair? DNA repair, the repair system, I'm going to show you later. The DNA repair system that actually is happening in the body when you're taking this kind of functional food. We have 8 patents. Before we have 4, and it's enclosed in this box. You can see there. We have additional new patents: cell rejuvenation, anti-aging effect, liver health, and even the reduction or the restoration of the proper uric acid production. Okay, so before in SOP Subarashi, we have this one. This is my actual interpretation of that. The heart, the anti-thrombotic agent or anti-platelet aggregation, or no clogging of the blood and the bloodstream. Anti-hypertensive effect. Why? Not only have a angiotensin enzyme inhibitory here, or ACE inhibitory in our blood circulation, or putting down the or regulating the blood pressure. It has also the ability to produce nitric oxide, a precursor, okay, from the other ingredient that we have in our SOP Subarashi, utsikushi, and hickory. Are you aware that if you're gonna take that, the instruction in the box, at the back of the box, they say you drink it, you put 200 ml of water, and then stir it and drink it. Some of us use it for oral, in terms of taking it sublingually or just eating it, lingering in the mouth, so that the commensal bacteria and the ingredients of SOP Subarashi, utsikushi, or hickory, in this case SOP Subarashi, will actually be incorporated with the commensal bacteria of the mouth. When you swallow it, it will produce a metabolites. I'm sorry for the word, but it's just a chemical, a natural chemical that produces nitric oxide and makes your blood vessel dilate or relax. When your blood vessels dilate, it relaxes, and then the blood will flow. And there is no clumping of the red blood cell. There's no clumping of the platelets, and everything is a smooth flow. Okay? And that's why the other patents improve peripheral blood flow. Okay? And they have tested it in such a way. They have their own testing. And then cell repair, cell regeneration, and production, because you are nourishing the cell, giving it all the potential, the electrical potential of the cell, giving all the nourishment of the cell. And that is the reason why SOP Subarashi is actually very successful functional food. The additional here is anti-aging effect, cell rejuvenation, the activation of the cell, and actually, as you can see here, there is a composition for inhibiting liver function deterioration. Sorry for that long spelling. As you can see here, the top the top liver is the normal liver. The second is the cirrhosis, and the third is the hepatocarcinomic cell or cancer of the liver. Another thing, reducing uric acid and gout. Okay, that is the eighth SOP Subarashi, the new SOP Subarashi patents. All right, so the function, okay, the bodily system, okay, you took it, it will be absorbed in the small intestine, not in the large intestine, okay, and there is a villi, okay, the one that absorbs it. Are you aware that the villi only survives within 3 to 5 days, and then it needs to be replenished? That's why some of us is constipated, or we have diarrhea because of that. Okay, that's why we need to replenish all of this, especially when we discuss Uchikushi. However, I don't have the time for that. Okay, the Uchikushi. And this is the microvilli cells, which is surrounded by those, finger-like protrusion there. And then we have the cell, and the cell is the nucleus. The nucleus is inside. There is it houses the chromosomes. The chromosomes, you will see there the defects. That's why we have hypertensive patients. We have diabetic patients. We have rheumatoid arthritic patients. We have autism, person with autism, people with Down syndrome, and all of that, people with cancer. It's affected by the chromosomes. We have 23 from our mothers and 23 from our fathers. Together, there are 46 chromosomes. These chromosomes are actually, if you add 47, now you have Down syndrome. But if you have 45 chromosomes, you will not survive. You will not live. Okay, so these are the where the damages happen because of what we do, the lifestyle that we have, the lack of sleep, the lot of carbohydrates and sweets that we have. Okay, the stress that we are in. Okay, that's how chromosomes are damaged. And when the chromosomes are damaged, when you go to a repair shop, okay, you want to repair. Here in our end, we do have our cells being repaired, and we go to a technician. We call it a technician or a computer. They open the box. The same thing. They open the DNA, and the DNA is the one being fed by our SOP Subarashi, Otsikoshi, and Hickory. Okay, in the middle, you will see there that there is the nucleic acid. As I mentioned a while ago, these four are in constant, they have a sequence. That's why we are different from each other. Okay, and someone will tell, "Oh, the Asian looks the same." I assure you, we don't look the same. Okay, because of this, probably there is a hint of, same likeness, but we are not the same. You are not all the same. Even the Asian style, the Americans are all the same. They look the same. In our mind. Why? Because they have a very nice and long, not long, what do you call that? They have a nice structure of a nose, okay? And that's why, not all of them is the same. Probably there are a lot, Elvis is different, but there are a lot of Elvis look-alike, but they're not all the same. But probably they sound the same when they sing. Well, I'm just saying that all of this has a sequence, and one cell is equivalent to 3.2 billion of this adenine, cytosine, thymine, and guanine. Okay, where will you get that? Number one, into your diet. However, based on the diet, you can only absorb the protein there within that. The body's happy if you up to 30%, 10 to 30%. However, that's why we have the AFC. The AFC has Dalton of 400 to 600 that penetrate the cell and feeds and nourish the cell and do its function and uphold the structure of the cell. We're not talking about medicine. We're talking about nourishment. We're talking about raw materials. Okay. So this one. So when you take SOP Subarashi or Otsikoshi, okay, either of the two or three, depends And when you have unfavorable health condition, you may want to take more of this one. Okay, and probably you have a question how to take it, how many times to take it. Okay, and another thing here, if you take this, all of this, these are the raw material. They will produce enzyme that will, the enzyme, the peptides, the protein. Okay, it will produce, it will initiate the production of this nucleic acid and will make a repair system, and it will make a healthy chromosome. It may even reverse the unfavorable health condition, as you will see in the testimonials that we have. Okay, it will have a healthy cells, and that cells, okay, will have a healthy tissue, and that tissues, okay, will have a healthy organ like the liver. Okay, are you aware that the liver has a 500 functions? Just having a fatty liver, either non-alcoholic or alcoholic, the 500 function is disrupted. That's why we are sick. That's why we need this kind of functional food. And all of this is fed with SOP Subarashi, Otsikushi, Hikari. All of this will have a healthy DNA, healthy cells, healthy organ, and that's the best version of you.